everyone. Today we are working on your third chakra, Manipura chakra. So you may have already listened to or watched the little bonus video, the discussion about it. So it lies 2 or 3 fingers above your belly button. I got it wrong in the beginning of the video, but fixed myself. So be prepared. We're going to be working on the core. Remember that your core isn't just the front, it's also the sides and the back, and it's all very important for strengthening. Well, strengthening your core is very important for all kinds of things, for internal function of your body, the function of your muscles and bones and all sorts of things, your posture, your breath. I mean, they're all interwoven. The relationship between the way that your muscles work and your digestion, the strength, the flexibility, it's all important. It's all related. And then how that moves out into your energy, the way that you present yourself, your mood, I mean, all of it. So, most of the things that we're going to do, you've probably done them before. We're changing the intention to build strength and to start from the center of who you are, the center of your person, the center of your body, and we're working our way out. So think about that, and think about how this impacts everything you do. And even when we get off the mat, when we're done with the practice today, think about how what you do with your core, how it affects whatever you're doing in that moment. So perhaps that's a meditation for you. Staying in the moment of a certain thing is thinking about how is my core, how is my Manipura chakra impacting this thing that I'm doing? How is it being affected? So start with your easy seated position. Let's start with your torso rotations. We do these every single time. And now with the intention of focusing on the third chakra, Manipura, perhaps what you're doing and what you're feeling changes a little bit. Or maybe it's more obvious or, more apparent when you focus on a different intention. Move it up your spine. So we started low. Let's purposely move the midsection here. And work up into your rib cage. So you're moving the area above the third chakra. See if you can isolate that. Then come back to center. Let's bring the other leg in front. Let's go in the opposite direction. Big circles to start off with. And when you're doing any kind of movement, even if it's not specifically with the center of your body, notice how your core does engage in order to make that thing happen. Or it doesn't. I mean, there may be some things that we do where your core is completely relaxed. That's possible. Think about the moments when you do relax your belly and when you engage it. Inhale, exhale, and all of that. Okay, let's tighten this up. Bring this more towards your belly button. Since we're talking about the third chakra, also notice how what you've eaten has an impact on the way that you move. Right now, I've actually been really good about the food that I've taken in. Oddly enough, I had quite a binge night the other night with a lemon bar, but it didn't seem to have too much of a negative impact, other than the night sweats. I sweat all night after I eat the lemon bar. But I don't feel inflammation. I don't feel any pain in my gut. My body feels good. I don't feel swollen. Work your way up into your torso, into your rib cage. So just think about how what you eat, how it impacts everything else as well. How hydrated you are, how much caffeine you've had, how much alcohol you've had. Perhaps you feel better with a certain amount of caffeine. Come back to center, grab onto your shins, rock over your sit bones, inhale belly button forward, exhale it back, rocking the torso, rocking the pelvis primarily, and flexing the torso, flexing and extending. Hands to the knees, inhale your chest forward, exhale it back. Next inhale, lift your chin to the ceiling. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, lift your chin. Exhale, chin to chest. Once more, lift your chin. And chin to chest. Bring your hands underneath your thighs, palms down, chin against your chest. Start to round down. You're going to have to lean forward a little bit, like you're working on getting your forehead to your shins. So we're getting a deep stretch in your spinal cord. And if you need to, take deep inhales and exhales to move yourself through any more painful, uncomfortable spots with this stretch. Stretching your nerves, stretching your spinal cord can be nauseating. So we're breathing through it. I've had a pretty active morning, so I have a little bit more flexibility right now. You may not be in the same position as me, and that's fine. Start to unroll, bring yourself back up. Release your hands. Get yourself an arm's distance away from everything. Left arm out to the left, right hand to your heart. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right. The rotation starts from your waist. The rotation starts at the focal point of Manipura Chakra. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. Change it up. Slow down, come back to center. Focus on breathing through your nose. Relax your jaw. Soften your face muscles. Relax the tops of your shoulders. Make your way down to your back. Give yourself an arm's distance above you. Reach your legs out, stretch your feet. Stretch your legs, flex your feet. Make fists with your hands. Take an inhale. Oh, this big stretch makes me yawn. Inhale, exhale, fist to feet. Inhale down and exhale up. Follow your own breath. Inhale down, exhale up. We'll do this several times. Use the pumping of your arms. You can also have had a student who actually who clasped their hands and pumped their way up. So you can have your hands together, you can have your hands apart. But draw yourself forward into that forward fold. So we're kind of doing a dynamic Paschimottanasana. As you're coming forward, really draw your belly into your spine to see how far you can get. So you're using deep abdominal muscles actually to bring yourself forward. Maybe play around with not using momentum, not using your arms. Yeah, that's called a sit-up. Okay, one more time, bring yourself up. Nice. Okay, soles of the feet together. The little cat you see running back and forth sometimes is Sarah. I call her Belly, or belly button. Anyway, that's who that is. Okay, soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. Lay back, take an inhale. Exhale, fist to feet. Use your breath. Inhale down, exhale up. Getting that breath right makes a difference in the muscles you're engaging doing this movement. You're using that strong exhale to pull yourself up. You're using the pumping of your arms to pull yourself up. You're using that momentum to bring yourself forward. That disengages some of those muscles. You're using different core muscles to lay yourself back down. If you've had any kind of abdominal surgery ever, any time in your life, you know the feeling of learning all of the abdominal muscles it takes to get yourself up and down. We take this for granted. Let's do this one more time. Bring yourself up. Nice. All right. Grab onto your toes. I'm going to show you this from facing forward. Grab onto your toes. Lift up with your torso. Draw down with your elbows. Really engage those back muscles. Now, in this pose, if you feel that you are engaging your hip flexors a whole lot to keep yourself upright, because maybe you have really tight hips and hamstrings, then sit on a blanket. Get your hips a little bit higher so that your hip flexors aren't doing the work to bring yourself upright. Okay? Pull your shoulder blades together. Belly is literally on a tear. Pull your shoulder blades together, sit as tall as you can. Feel those muscles up your back engaging. Oh my God, she's insane. All right, let's bring yourself forward into Baddha Konasana, into cobbler pose. Elbows come out to the side. Keep a nice long spine. So I'm going to show you this from the side. I'm going to sit on my blanket. I am tipping from my hips, not from my ribs. I want you to keep those back muscles engaged. We're working on all of these torso muscles. Okay? I don't care how far down you actually get. You've got some leverage here. You're pulling on your toes. You're pulling up on your toes and pulling yourself out and down, hinging from your hips. This may be your pose. If your hips and hamstrings are so tight that you can't get yourself any farther forward, that's fine. I want you to feel those muscles in your back deeply engaged to keep yourself lengthened. Shoulder blades draw together. Engage those back muscles more than anything. Okay? That's belly. She's crazy. Okay, bring yourself up. Legs out in front. We're going to do Paschimottanasana without using any sort of strap. We're going to use simple, just core muscles, okay? Bring your arms overhead. Arms stay alongside your ears in this. tip forward. Keep those back muscles engaged, just like we did in cobbler pose in Baddha Konasana. So you can see, I'm not tipping very far forward. I'm using core muscles to make this movement happen. And if it helps, you can have your hands clasped together, thumbs hooked. You can even reach your pointer fingers out to help lengthen your arms alongside your ears. I can feel my back muscles. They're getting warm. They're putting in a lot of effort to keep myself lengthened. But I'm avoiding rounding my back because when I arch like this, number one, it hurts. Number two, it squishes my lungs. I can no longer breathe as well when I'm rounded forward. Okay, bring yourself up, arms down to the sides. Let's go for a twist. Left foot to the outside of your right thigh. Left arm up, over and around. Sit nice and tall. Now, instead of pulling on this leg with your arm, and instead of pushing into the floor with your left hand to encourage this twist, I want you to focus primarily on what's going on with your waist. Inhale, your belly presses into your left thigh. Exhale, pull your belly into, think about pulling this left rib cage back. So it's the movement is happening from the waist. Literally my arm is here, my arm is back here to help keep me upright. I want you to keep that right foot flexed too. But your inhale and the exhale, that's what's making the movement of the twist. I'm not pushing or pulling with my hands. They're just simply there to keep me upright so that most of all the work can happen with my core. You could even release that backhand to prove to yourself. You could release both if you wanted to. Okay, look forward, unwind. Let's do the other side. Right foot to the outside of the left thigh. Right arm up, over and around. So this beginning few breaths is going to be your counter twist to what you just did. Sit nice and tall. Lengthen your spine. Work on those back muscles being deeply engaged to keep you upright. Inhale, your belly is going to press against your right thigh. Exhale, belly button draws in. You're working on bringing that right rib cage back. You are ornery today, belly. She's going to knock something off that counter or off the shelf. I know she is. Breathe. Maybe you let go of your arms. I can feel though when I let go of my left arm though, it's making my right leg engaged. So I'm simply holding the leg there so that my core can do most of the work, if you understand that. Unwind. Nice. Okay? A lot of what we're doing today is on the floor. Arms above you on the floor. Make sure that, so if you have a wall behind you, we're going to be doing leg raises. If you would like to use the wall behind you, then make sure that your fingertips are right at your baseboard. Legs are out straight. I have to scoot my skeleton out of the way. Okay, legs are out straight. So we're going to start with having your hands underneath your pelvis to support your low back. Okay, inhale, legs up. Exhale, legs down. And as you move, point your toes on the inhale up. Flex your feet, press your heels away on the exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Do your best to keep the legs engaged and lengthened, because when you can even feel the difference. Try this. Bend your knees and feel the difference. First of all, that really hurts my back, my low back, to have my knees bent. But also I am using different and less core muscles to do that. You're not doing yourself any service to have your knees bent and to use fewer muscles. Because when your legs are out straight, it engages more of your front abdominal muscles. That supports your back muscles. That supports your back, right? When your front muscles disengage, then that makes the back muscles hurt. Okay, this is part of why we're doing all of this core work also, is for anybody who has low back pain, you need to strengthen your core. Okay, let's start making this a little bit more challenging. On your inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. So we're getting a little bit of rounding in the back, but we're using the core to lift up. And if you're next to a wall, or if the wall is behind you, then you can get your toes to the wall and kind of push off. Or maybe the toes are going to the floor above you, and you're pushing off there. Okay? Let's do one more. We're going to change it up. We're going to reach our legs up to the ceiling and lay them down. Reach them up and lay them down. This may be challenging for you. Give it a shot. See what you can do. You're also working on the momentum that it takes to lift your hips. There's a little bit of momentum. Surely there's core strength. You are holding your hips when you lift your legs up. Let's do a few more of these. And last time, lower your legs down. Nice. Let's rock and roll on your spine. Rocking and rolling, surprisingly, takes core. Lock to seated. Let's do a reverse plank. Hands are behind you, fingers pointing towards your hips. Legs out straight. Point your toes. Lift your hips, try to get your big toes to the floor. We're moving into breath of fire, light sniffing through your nose. This is really going to work on Manipura. Keep up with your breath of fire. Keep lifting your hips. Engage your butt muscles. Get those big toes to press into the floor. Don't let your head hang. Take a deep inhale and exhale, lower down. Nice. Let's come into Paschimottanasana. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, come forward and down. Let's release that little bit of back bend that we were doing with the supine plank. Nice deep breaths. Arms alongside your ears, bring yourself up, and arms down to the sides. Come back onto your back. Knees into your chest. Wrap your forearms around your shins. Press your low back into the floor. So when your low back isn't pressed down, then you can feel that your tailbone is lifted up, your sacrum's off the floor. Try to press your low back, your waist to the floor. This will also lengthen your spine a little bit more. You can feel some engagement in your legs because of this as well. Let's move into breath of fire again. Take a deep inhale and relax, stretch out. And bring your knees into your chest, rock and roll yourself back up. Let's flip over. So we did supine plank. Let's do regular old plank. So I'm going to have you start from hands and knees. Make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists right now. Your wrists are directly under your shoulders, and the folds of your wrists are parallel to the top of the mat. Fingers are nice and spread. From here, then stretch out your legs. Keep your wrists directly under your shoulders as you press your heels away. So as you press your heels away, pull the tips of your ears away from your heels. Long, deep breaths. Now, avoid having your butt lifted. This disengages your core muscles. Also, don't have your hips sinking. If it helps to see yourself in a mirror, set up a mirror. Take a look at yourself. Record yourself. Take a look at your plank. But see if you can, keep your wrists under your shoulders, press your heels away, lengthen out. I feel my back. I feel my... Don't be afraid of feeling your back muscles engage. I think that's part of what I'm trying to say here. Your core muscles, absolutely, they're going to engage. Long, deep breaths. Relax your jaw. Relax your teeth. Let your belly move when you breathe. That's going to help engage those muscles. Come down to your forearms, one arm at a time. Press your hands together. Make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Let's sneak up into dolphin pose. Sneak your feet towards your elbows. Heels are nice and lifted. Make sure your shoulders stay above your elbows, that you're not sinking forward. Let your head hang. Keep pressing your forearms into the floor, keeping your hips lifted, your chest lifted. Don't let yourself sink into your shoulders. You can feel a different relationship with gravity with your belly. Okay? So what I'm kind of doing here is getting your abdominal muscles to release right here. Step back into a lowered plank and lower your hips to the floor. Keep your toes curled under. Let's get a stretch on your belly muscles, a stretch on your front body. So I'm just keeping my hands in the same position they were in dolphin, palms pressing together. You can have your palms pressing down. Feel the difference. Feel the difference in muscles that engage and move because of having your palms together versus palms on the floor. And release. Uncurl your toes. Get a big stretch out in front. We're keeping your spine neutral. We're going to still do some more back bends here. So we're just going to stretch out like this. Let's do a little bit of cobra here. I'm gonna have to sneak over and you might lose some of my legs in the camera here. Get your legs as wide as you can. Hands under your shoulders. We're going to move through this. Elbows stay hugged in. Your elbows point back towards your feet. Inhale, peel up. Press into the floor as you use your back muscles. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, peel up. Exhale, roll down. Really deeply engage your glutes. Engage your butt muscles. Use your back body. Inhale up. And exhale down. This time we're going to add a twist. Inhale, peel up. Exhale, look to your right foot. Inhale, center. Exhale, look at your left foot. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Your back body is deeply engaged. Let's do one more round. Inhale, center. Elbows stay hugged in. Exhale, look to your right foot. Inhale, center. Exhale, look left. Inhale, center. And exhale, down. Bring your legs together. Stretch your arms in front. Do another back bend. So when you lay down, when your face is down, the crown of your head, I'd like the crown of your head to kind of be in line with the top of the mat. So you're not too far away from the top. I'm getting you set up for seal pose. So if you're about a head's length away from the top of the mat, then put the corner of the mat into your palm and straighten up. So your hands are pretty far away from you when you lengthen up. Engaging your back body muscles. Press the floor away from you. Butt muscles are engaged. Feel your hamstrings and quadriceps engaged. Your thighs are deeply engaged. Purposely work on drawing your shoulder blades together behind you. This will help engage back muscles. So everything is working. All of the back body is working to help keep you up. And you're simply pressing your hands into the floor to help with all of that engagement. Pressing down and engaging your back body will also help to drop the shoulders away from the ears. So try not to sink into this, right? You can feel the difference. You're lengthening your neck, lengthening your arms, and opening your chest. And release. Nice. Let's press back into a child's pose from here. Get a little bit of a release from your back bends. Into a side plank. Lay on your. Let's start with laying on your left side. So let's do all of this. All of us do this together. So I'm going to have you start. You're going to keep your left arm, your left forearm on the floor. You can have your right foot on the floor behind your leg. This is going to encourage you to open up. So your right foot is on the floor behind your leg, or you stack your right leg on top of left. See if you can reach your right arm up to the ceiling and really reach up to help encourage you lifting up. Primary focus is keeping this hip lifted. Don't let it sink. Press this right hip up to the ceiling. And don't let your head hang. You're going to keep your head lengthening away from your hips. And release. Nice. Let's do the other side. So I'm just switching this way. You can do the same thing that I'm doing if you like. Right forearm to the floor. Okay. You can have your left foot on the floor behind your right leg. Get that left hip, or I guess it doesn't matter which hip. It's all lifting. Bring your hips off the floor. So you can even see when you use the leg, left foot pressing down, take a peek at yourself. See if you're lined up. Maybe you can stack your feet. Don't let this right chest sink into this right shoulder. Really press into the floor with your forearm and your palm. Deep breaths, relax your face, relax your neck and jaw. And release. Nice. Okay. Let's do some boat pose. Sit nice and tall. Ankles and knees are together. Keep your knees together in this. This helps to engage your transverse abdominis. If your knees are wide, it's not going to engage the same. You can even feel. Keep yourself upright like this and feel the muscles that are moving and engaging because you're opening and closing your legs. Okay? Keep your knees together. If you need to hold them with your hands, fine, do that. Get these shins parallel to the floor. Keep your shoulder blades drawing together. Breathe. You can stay like this, holding your knees. But keep yourself upright. So right now, I don't know, my knees are boob height, maybe a little bit higher, but my torso is lifted. My shoulders are for sure above my knees. Do not let yourself sink down to here. You've completely disengaged the muscles that we're looking for, and they're not lengthened. We want to engage these muscles in a lengthened position for this. Perhaps you can reach your arms out. Again, do not let your shoulders sink below your knees. You want to have your vision straight out above your toes. Don't let your boat sink. Okay? Keep this boat lifted. Okay, relax. Sit nice and tall. Lengthen these muscles. Over-exaggerate even. Sitting nice and tall. I'm pulling my body up away from my hands that are holding onto my knees. Okay. I'm going to make it a little bit more challenging with these boats. We're going to sort of row with these boats. Okay. So you've got your knees lifted. I'm just going to go from one side to the other. You're rotating from your torso. You're not just moving your arms, because you can certainly get one elbow to the other side. I want you to try to move and face your chest to one side and then the other. Keep those knees together. Keep your torso nice and long. If you round your back, it'll probably hurt your low back. If you need to take a break in the middle, do that. So that you're still building the strength, just easing into it. Do one more. And release. Sit nice and tall, cross-legged, lengthen up. Let's do a little bit of twisting. Comfortable seated position, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to the left. Your hand goes to the outside of your knee, left hand is behind you. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, rotate. Doing a belly breath is one of the best things that you can do for help strengthening your core muscles. Because you're getting your belly, you're getting your brain to figure out what muscles we're even talking about. Okay? Keep your torso twisted, look forward, look over your right shoulder. Oh, my neck needed that stretch. Holy cow. Inhale, arms overhead, lengthen up. Exhale to the right. Sit nice and tall. Give yourself a few breaths to sort of ease into this side. First few breaths of your counter twist aren't going to be as deep, but make sure you're breathing. And then maybe your twist will deepen on this side. Belly breathe. Keep the twist. Look over your left shoulder. Gosh, I love twists. Oh, this feels so good. Unwind. Okay, so let's go for a deeper twist. Left foot to the outside of your right knee or thigh. See if you can keep this leg hugged in, this right leg hugged in. Is this what I want to do? Yes. Okay. Reach your right arm up, elbow to the outside. Now, for a deeper twist, if you've got some belly, if you've got some boobs, you might have to move them out of the way. Nothing wrong with that. Get your belly out of the way. Maybe you gotta move it over to the left a little bit. If you've got to move a boob, do that. Hey, these are just the things that you've got to do, okay? Left arm up, over and around. Now, you can stay like this. I'd like to add in a little bit more chest and arm stretch. So maybe this right arm can go to the outside of your left knee. You can stay like this. You can hook that hand either palm down or palm up underneath this right shin. Sit nice and tall. Lengthen everything, okay? Lengthen that right leg. So if it's hugging up, see if you can press it down. That's lengthening it. Lengthen your spine, lengthen your arms, your neck. Lengthen your breath. Release, unwind. Let's do the other side. Right foot to the outside. Left leg is hugged in. Right arm goes up, over, and around. Move the belly, move the boobs if you need to. Sit nice and tall. Give yourself a couple of breaths. Maybe at some point in this, you can reach up and get that left elbow to the outside of the right knee. You're using that leverage of the left arm against the right leg to help open up your twist a little bit more. Perhaps the left hand hooks underneath the left shin. Palm up or palm down, or not at all. Lengthen things. And release. Unwind. So, some things that also help you work on core are arm balances. I'm going to do a little bit. We're going to do crow pose, Asana. Granted, we haven't done a whole lot of hip stuff, so you can do what you can. You can have a blanket, a face plant blanket or pillow in front of you if you would like. Come onto your feet. And hands are shoulder width apart. So when my hands are down, the sides of my fingers are really spread. My pinkies are touching the sides of the mat. Okay? Now, you may not go into full Bakasana, doesn't matter, it's okay. We're working on core stuff anyhow. This does not have to be a total arm balance. Lift up onto your heels. So even if your knees are deeply bent, so you could be completely knees bent in this. Bend your elbows. You can rest your shins on your triceps. You can get your knees into your armpits. Pull your belly into your spine. So at this point, I honestly don't care if you even try to get your feet off the floor. I want you to feel what it's like to pull your belly into your spine in order to get those hips to lift, okay? So you could stay just like this. Get your belly to pull into your spine as much as possible, like you're trying to get your belly into your butt from here, okay? Feel what that's like to pull your belly up into where your butt is. Maybe you tuck up a foot and then the other. Doesn't matter if you do or don't. If you do, keep pulling your belly up into your hips. Okay, let that go. Relax. Notice the muscles that you feel. Last thing, I think it's the last thing before we move into a Shavasana, before we start to wind down into Shavasana anyway, we're going to do what's called Sat Kriya. So this is going to engage the 3 chakras that we've worked on so far. Manipura, Svadhisthana, and Muladhara, Svadhisthana, and Manipura. And so we're going to be engaging Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. So the way this will work, you're sitting on your heels, and I'm going to let you decide what's going to allow you to engage Mula Bandha best. And remember, Mula Bandha, I don't have my skeleton easily available, but Mula Bandha is the base of your pelvic floor, okay? So when you're engaging Mula Bandha, you're lifting your pelvic floor muscles. I had a yoga teacher once explain it like pulling up on one of those purse strings. The purses that have just like that circular opening. So it's that kind of movement. Picking up a pearl. It's engaging the muscle that you, it's engaging the perineum. So if you had to pee, but you don't have a bathroom, right? You hold that muscle. So we'll be bringing the arms alongside the ears. Pointer fingers reaching up, thumbs are clasped. You'll say Sat. When you say Sat, you're going to engage Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, pulling your belly button into the spine. When you say Nam, you're going to relax those muscles. So here's the thing, I'm going to give you the option of sitting on your heels so that your sit bones are directly on the heel bones, or you sit inside the heels. Whatever allows you to engage Mula Bandha best, okay? You may feel that sitting on the heels hinders it. So try both ways. I'll give you a second or two here to practice engaging Mula Bandha with your butt and everything in between your heels versus on your heels, okay? All right, arms alongside your ears, press your arms against your ears, and let's begin. Sat, Nam, 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 Sat, Nam. Sat. 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 Keep it engaged. Take a deep inhale. Keep it engaged on the exhale. Lower your arms. Relax. Relax Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Do a little bit of a shoulder stretch that gets into my trapezius a little bit. Right elbow inside of left. Let's do a little bit of a stretch. Unwind. Left elbow inside of right. Unwind and lay on your back for our final, not yet for Savasana. Okay, laying on your back. A couple more things before we move into Savasana. Okay, if laying flat on your back gives you any sort of tension in your low back, then for this next thing, put a blanket, bolster, something underneath your thighs right up next to your butt. See if you can get that little bit of tilt in your pelvis, that posterior tilt in your pelvis. It'll help release your low back a little bit. If you need to, you can have the soles of your feet together, knees wide, if that helps as well. Keeping your hands on your belly, we're going to move into breath of fire, laying on your back. And this is going to have a little bit of a different feeling from when we've been upright because you are laying down. You have a different relationship to gravity here. But I just want you to feel when you're sniffing through your nose, what it feels like to move, what's going to happen to your belly. So you're not intending to move your belly, but you're just going to see what's happening, okay? So we're going to go through this, keep a nice long spine, begin breath of fire. Take a deep inhale and let go. Do what you need to do to get comfortable in your Shavasana. And if there's any other movement you feel like you need to do, a twist or something like that, feel free to do that. Give you a moment to get into your Shavasana. Feet wider than the mat if you're laying straight, or you've got the blanket or pillow underneath your thighs, or you're in sort of a goddess pose, soles of the feet together. You can even have your knees together, feet wider than your hips. That feels good to you. Once you have found your Shavasana position, take a deep inhale. Sigh. Take one more deep inhale. And sigh. Find an effortless breath. Let's start with relaxing your belly. So a lot of times we start at the head or the feet or the hands. Let's start at the center. Let your belly soften. Let it sort of fill your abdominal cavity. Don't be afraid of letting go of those muscles. Or if there is fear there, just tell yourself that you are supported by the floor. Maybe it would help for you to have a blanket over your body, over your belly, to help you release. Because as I said, about any of the chakra work, it's psychological too. Mostly it is, really. So you're easing yourself into noticing these things and feeling these things and letting yourself feel these things. As you soften the belly, notice what else might soften as well. Maybe you can release some tension in the low back and let go of any engagement there. See if you might need to lengthen your spine a little bit more now that you've let some things go. See if you can soften and let go of any tension you might be holding in your hips and your butt muscles, your glutes, in the joints, in the pelvic cavity, the front, the sides, the back. There's a lot to it. See if you can soften, release the solar plexus area above your belly button, softening your chest and your ribs, front ribs, side ribs, back ribs, shoulder blades. Let the breath be soft and effortless. See if you can let go of engagement in your thigh muscles, quadriceps, hamstrings, IT band, side thigh, inner thigh. See if you can soften the muscles around your knees and your kneecaps and the back sides of your knees. A lot of attachments there. Keep on working down the legs. Releasing any tension in your shins and your calf muscles, ankles, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, heels, toes. Feel tension just sort of melting from your belly to your legs, out through your toes and the soles of your feet. And then let's do the same with the arms, softening out from the shoulders, shoulder joints, Softening through the biceps and triceps, your upper arms. Seeing if you can release any tension and engagement in your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, thumbs, palms of your hands and your fingers. Maybe you feel different tension or emotion or sensation in your upper body. And maybe all of that can just sort of release and drain out through your arms, your palms, and your fingers. And maybe in doing that, you notice there's a difference between what let go from the belly button down, what let go from the belly button up. Then we get into the throat and the neck. Releasing that. The backs, the sides, the front. Softening the jaw, teeth and tongue. Cheek muscles, cheekbones. Muscles around the eyes. Ears. Space between the eyes and your forehead. Let the scalp relax. Let anything else just release out through the crown of your head. Maybe it needs to drip out your ears. It's going to. Let your entire body release from the center all the way out to the periphery. From your core to your torso, arms and legs, fingers and toes, neck, skull, scalp. Deepen your breath. Move your fingers, move your toes. Wrists, ankles, reach your arms above you, reach your legs away from you. When you're ready, roll to one side. And on your side, let that arm support your head. When you're ready, make your way back up to your easy seated position, kneeling or cross-legged. Take a deep inhale. Blow it out. Deep inhale. Blow it out. One more deep inhale. And blow it out. Find your natural breath. Sit a little taller. Lift the sides of your mouth. Think a positive thought about yourself. Think a positive thought about someone you love. And send positive energy from your core out through your body, out to your community. Visualize it looking and feeling however you think your positive energy looks and feels. Sparkly, fuzzy, colorful. Vibrations. Fast, slow, ripples, waves, splashes, clouds, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to stand tall. Don't be afraid to be bigger than you are. Think big. Think tall. Think spacious. Your energy is bigger than your body. You are more than your body, truly. May all beings in the universe be happy and free, and may our actions and our thoughts contribute to their happiness and their freedom. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay to safe distance. We'll get through this. Keep on plugging away. Doing all the right things, doing the stuff that they say. We don't want to do this all over again. And I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.